right, good evening. This is January 13th, 2026, 6:30 p.m. This is the time and place for the regular meeting of the Northern Lebanon School District Board of Directors. Call this meeting to order. Director England. Madam Secretary, may I please have a roll call?
Director Blau,
Here.
Director England, Director Fowler,
Present.
Director Klein,
Present.
Director Kreiser,
Present.
Director Moyer,
Here.
Director Murray,
Here.
Vice President Williams,
Here.
President Nam,
Present.
all present.
Great, thank you. Okay, first item for this evening is adoption of tonight's agenda. It was published. The board has had an opportunity to review. Is there a motion this evening to adopt the agenda as presented?
Motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. My vote's also yes. Motion carries unanimously. We'll move now to presentations. Special.
Yeah. Kirk and Tyler, do we have a video first? Good presentation.
Thank you, School Board! You guide our school with thoughtful care, ensuring learning happens everywhere.
Through plans and policies big and small.
You strive to make school great for all.
So here's our thanks to Good and True.
For all the amazing things that you did. Thank you!
Thank you for being our school board.
Okay, it is School Board
great.
Appreciation Month, if you didn't know. There are some gifts for you. We all of us want to say thank you. It doesn't pay well. Anything we do wrong, you get to hear about. We appreciate the time and effort that you put in. This truly has been remarkable for me. I'm in my 7th year, and the school board members have been fantastic the entire way. I've appreciated the guidance. I've appreciated the input and the wisdom throughout my time here. But you really, truly are. I hear a lot of stories about a lot of school districts, and you really, truly are a tremendous school board. So thank you for all that you do. And with that, Mr. Swank.
I think I'd get it after a few times.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a nice break and you got to spend some nice time with your families. Before I get started here, I wanted to say a quick thank you on behalf of all of Student Council for all the hard work and dedication you guys put into here as a school board. And I have a very nice sign. It's a little- says thank you for your dedication. It's signed from the entire school board.
Thanks, man.
You can hold that. As far as student council goes, we are currently preparing for our regional council conference this upcoming week, actually, and we are setting outlines for the spring dance in March and hopefully a field day later this year as well. And that's all.
Thank you, Nathan.
Great, good report, appreciate it. Okay, I'd like to announce that the high school students of the month for January are Colin Cheslock and Anna Lenka. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. This award is sponsored jointly by the Fredericksburg and Jonestown Lions Clubs, and the middle school student of the month for January is Abigail Raybuck. This award is sponsored by the Northern Lebanon County Rotary Club and will be recognized at a future meeting of the Rotary Club. I don't believe any of the students are here tonight, but we do congratulate them. Okay, superintendent report, Dr. Messinger.
Okay, I am going to, just a few things before I turn it over to Ms. Martin. The first one is that next month, we will have the calendar on for the board. We'll discuss it at committee. We had a month or two ago discussed the idea of starting again after Labor Day, which I am a fan of. However, we have discovered as we looked at the calendar, Labor Day is actually September 7th next year. September 7th, I say? Yep. Which is extremely late to be starting on the 8th and takes us way further into June than what we would like. And on top of that, because it's so late, athletics is really, I mean, football starts heat acclimation. They're on week 4 or 5 almost by that point in time, and other sports too. So right now we are looking at a 31st start, which would be the Monday before, with that 4-day weekend for Labor Day. If you have feedback for me about that, feel free to reach out, but we'll talk about it committee, obviously, and would have an opportunity to change it if the board so desires. I think when we talked about, well, I know when we talked about it, we had not really considered the fact that it's as late as it could possibly be next year. So I wanted to give you a heads up about that. Also, just some things over the next 2 months. We have committee meetings and regular meetings in both February and March. In those meetings, we have a lot to cover. Besides the normal budget conversations, we will be having an update on the CTC renovation, including numbers for financing. We will have a secondary update, including how cell phones are going. We have an update coming on AI and its use as we rewrite curriculum. We have an elementary update coming on some of the assessments that they've been giving. I'll have my mid-year update, and we also have a presentation from Mrs. Bruce coming on the hiring process, getting in just an overview of what we do and how we go about things and some changes that we've recently made to help with that process. So busy February and March coming up. With lots of presentations, a presentation on during every meeting of some sort. So just letting you know that ahead of time. And then we did have a workshop last Tuesday, and we had asked Ms. Martin to give just a public overview of some of the things that she had spoken to the board about, so that we can start on our budget discussions, because in February we'll be talking about what we want to do for next year's budget as well. So Ms. Martin, I'm going to let you take over.
Thank you. Oh, it's already there. Okay, so this is just going back over, reviewing what we went over last week. So you can go to the next slide, Tyler. That's okay. Thanks. So as we shared, the general fund balance, I just wanted to show you where we went from at the end of 2024 to 2025, that we were sitting with about $12 million there. And as I've shared, the non-spendable amount at the top is just an accounting entry to show that we do have incoming expense reduction for the sale of the Fredericksburg Elementary School to Yellow Breeches. So that is the amount that is still coming our way at the end of 2025. So that has already started being used in 2026 and being reduced this school year. Then the committed line item is our healthcare, which it's reserved, set aside in case we have healthcare expenses that are over budget 1 year. So that amount cannot be touched unless that healthcare amount exceeds the budget 1 year, and we would like to pull out of there. And then we have an assigned amount of 3.3 million set aside for projects that come on, and that could be purchasing if we need anything for technology. I know Kirk was just telling me about them, but in the building at the high school and things, we need to replace some, what are they, your servers? Switches, thank you, that's what it is. Things like that come up, resurfacing the track, all those projects that we do. Sorry, I knew that was a big one, we just talked about it. But so that money is set aside for those, that's $3.3 million there. And then we have the unassigned amount, which is $4.2 million currently in the updated column, because as you can recall, in December, we did transfer over $3 million out of the ending fund balance of unassigned to the capital projects fund to help with the rest of our construction projects that we are wrapping up at the secondary school. So that brings us down there to the $9 million in the lower right corner. Yep, sorry, go ahead. And then we also, before we got to this slide, we did go over the expenses and some estimates that I had used to go forward with those, and that we would basically need from budget to budget an extra $2 million next year from the 25-26 budget to get to the 26-27 budget, not adding any new personnel, not adding expense for CTC, just basically covering our salary increases, our healthcare increases, and a moderate increase to overall expenditures of about 2%. And then also adding on the new bond payments that will be rolling on, as well as if we would approve the loan payment for tonight, that we would need $2 million just to keep that level there, just moving forward. And like I said, that doesn't include any of those additional, what we typically have referred to here as big ticket items. And then moving over to the revenue, we did go over the fact that we had additional state funding. So from budget to budget, we already had about $900,000 of that gap closed, I would say, between the revenue and the $371,000 in revenue from the LERTAs rolling on and just an assessed value increase. So we would still need to come up with about $800,000 was the math that we had said to do that for just our static expense increase. So that brings us to this slide here with the tax increase and what it would be for the Northern Lebanon School District average homeowner, and what each percentage increase also gets the school district to offset that expense increase. And again, the Northern Lebanon School District adjusted index for next year is 4.2%. So we cannot raise taxes above 4.2%. And that is also on the agenda for tonight to the accelerated budget opt-out, saying that we will not raise taxes above 4.2%. And I did want to let you also know, right before the meeting tonight, I had emailed you guys a 10-year projection. Okay, so you did see that come through. So that is in there. You can play with it, look at it, and see where your tax adjustments fall for us in a long-term projection. That's the end of my slides, right? So yes, if anyone has any questions on that or wanted to discuss that now, we can.
Yeah, next, the committee meeting, we're gonna, we'll start throwing around what the board's thinking in terms of numbers. The goal is to try to establish that like we did last year, sooner rather than later, and then we'll fit the budget within the parameters that the board gives us. So, and if you have questions in the meantime, or you want help with the spreadsheet, reach out to Ms. Martin. She can help with that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good reports. Those reports reminded me that I did not announce at the beginning of the meeting that the board did meet in executive session last week to conduct the budget workshop. So thank you for the reminder. We did meet, we did receive that information, but there was no deliberation that occurred during that workshop. So thank you. With that, we will move to the public comment portion of our meeting. In accordance with Board Policy 903, interested parties were asked to provide notice by 3 p.m. today to the board secretary if they intended to offer public comment. We did not receive any notice of public comment, so we do not have any for this evening. We will then move to the items for board action. Public notice was given for this meeting in accordance with Act 84 of 1986. By notice of the president, the following action requires a voice vote. All votes in favor shall be stated with aye or yes. All votes opposed shall be stated with a nay or no. All members abstaining shall state I abstain when prompted. The votes will be recorded in the minutes as a unanimous roll call vote unless there are any votes in opposition or abstention. If necessary, the president may subsequently call for a roll call vote to be recorded in the minutes. So we will move to item 6.2, Dr. Messinger.
2 sets of minutes, the reorganization meeting and also the regular meeting from December.
Right, thank you. Any questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve item 6.2?
Motion to approve item 6.2.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, with no discussion, all those in favor of approving item 6.2, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, my vote is also yes, so that motion carries unanimously. We'll move to budget and finance.
Okay, I will do the first few together and then stop for the loan. 7.1 is our typical cash disbursement reports, which are listed there for you. 7.2 is our monthly student activity account. 7.3 is the document that Leanne has talked about, Ms. Martin has talked about, stating that the board will not be raising taxes above the index. And that's the resolution that we have to do annually unless we are pursuing exemptions, and we are not. And then I will stop there before we get to the bond.
Okay, any questions from the board regarding 7.1, 7.2, or 7.3? All pretty straightforward. We've done this before. Okay. Okay, no questions then. I'll receive a motion to approve items 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3. Thank you, Director England. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Kreiser. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving items 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, my vote's also yes, so that motion carries unanimously. We'll move then to the general obligation bond loan.
Okay, we've talked about this multiple times. This is the remaining amount for the construction project. As you know, we would have pulled $3 million from fund balance. This would be the last loan of $3 million. And you have been through the resolution before. We did get a recommendation from Brad Remig to go with, I'll let you talk a little bit about that recommendation.
Sure, and I am passing out the papers that Brad and I sat down to discuss and look over when he gave me his recommendation, and I agreed with his recommendation, and that is what you will see on the agenda for approval tonight. So the first page is just his market update, which is very similar. You've always seen it when you've got the bond projections from him.
Go ahead. I forgot my glasses. I can't. Keep going.
So on page 2 is that bond projection, like I had said. Page 3, I'm going to stop at some pages that I find extreme value in that you guys will want to look at with me. So page 3 is everybody who had submitted and responded to our RFP. And then on page 4 is what I want to take a moment to look over with you guys. These are the 3 that Brad and his team pulled out as ones that he would want us to consider, and we looked through. And then he has them in the order of preference for himself. So number 1 was First Citizens Community Bank, which is our local bank, is where we have the majority of our money, where we do the majority of our transfers and write our checks out of, and they work with us frequently on things. Number 2 was Webster's that had submitted, and number 3 is JPM Chase. And Melissa is on the call, so if you hear another voice jumping in, that is her. She is partners with Brad frequently and helps out our school with these projects. So the reason that we went with First Citizens Community Bank and that was preferred by us was because the interest rate was 4%, which is competitive. And the prepayment there, you can see highlighted, says anytime from First Citizens Community Bank. So if we have extra funds come in or we have some of our escrow amount come in, we can start making payments back on that and really saving in our interest from virtually the get-go of the loan, which was very appealing to us. The other 2 had no prepayment until 2029. And we thought that, with those 2 years, even if we could start paying early in those 2.5 years, that the difference would be about $24,000, that we could probably save that in interest, even if we just made a couple repayments early on it. While their interest rates were lower, as you can see, Webster's actually, if we did do prepayments before 2031, we actually had to pay a higher amount back, the 102 and 101% back to them. Which Brad told me isn't uncommon when they submit for these. I had never seen or heard anything like that, but he said that, this happens rather frequently in this market. And then JPM Chase, while their interest rate was also lower, they had the, you can't prepay until after 2029 as well. And their interest rate was a term called indicative, which means it can slightly change throughout the loan. So that was also not as attractive to us. So after talking all these terms over with Brad, I agreed with his recommendations for First Citizens Community Bank, and that is the one that you will see in column 1. And then Saxon Stump went ahead and prepared the loan documents for us on the agenda using the information with First Citizens Community Bank for approval tonight. One other thing that I just wanted to draw your attention to after you look at all of those is on page 7, this is something that you've seen with every time we've gone out and borrowed, prepared by Brad's team. And this is just our repayment, including all the debt that we have taken on. So you can see that going across there, and in column 9 is by year, the total amount of what we are paying back on all of our bonds and all of our loans.
Okay, are there any questions?
Leanne, are we in a position where we would be, I mean, even if we didn't get like an excess of money or have, money left over for some reason, are we in a position that maybe at the end of the year or even during the year, we could pay extra onto the amount so to kind of lower the length of the loan?
I believe that if we start to get our escrow back, which could be, any month at this point from Bethel Township for the elementary school, that yes, we could take that money and we could start paying on this back with the extra that goes back in escrow.
Can you remind us again what the amount of that escrow is?
It's 1.8 million right now.
So just over half of the loan.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Is there additional money in the escrow that we would eventually get back when we've completed other projects, or is that the total that we have remaining in the escrow?
That is the total that we have in the escrow. And we do have, I believe, about 30,000 in escrow with Swatara Township still.
On page 3,
Okay.
where we list the various lenders, First Citizens Community Bank is the #1 recommendation. In that row, I see 2 references to variable. Can you just walk me through what those are referring to?
I'm going to defer to
Okay.
Melissa. She's on
Thank
the
you.
call with that. Oh, okay. Melissa,
Can-
the question.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah, I heard the question. I just couldn't respond. So in terms of the variable rate, First Citizens provided you 2 options, one of which is a variable rate option, and we would not recommend that you select that one. The one we're recommending that you select is the fixed rate option that gives you budget certainty through the term of the loan. And like as Leanne said, we were really pleased with the number of proposals and the variety of banks that were interested in the district. It's really a testament to the school district's good financial decision making.
Great, thank you. That's what I was hoping that was. Appreciate it.
And
Yep.
I want to come back.
Yep.
I'm sorry, your question that you just asked about the escrow. I just pulled it up. It is in your board summaries every month that you can view, and it's under cash flow balance is the report that it's on. And in our escrow, I do apologize, 1.8 was the original amount for the elementary school. We have got some of that back. So we have 1.6 remaining for the elementary school and 1.5 remaining for the secondary, for a total of 3.2. So we actually have more in escrow than what this loan is. So I just wanted to provide clarification of that, because as I was saying it, I was thinking to myself, it didn't sound correct.
Yeah, I was thinking that the total was just over 3 million in escrow complete for the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
renovation.
So essentially.
Yeah, and so our expectation is that you're going to keep some of this loan out there for some period of the time, but the prepayment flexibility just overcomes any differential in the rate, in terms of flexibility.
Agreed. Thank you, Melissa.
Yep.
You want to repeat your question?
Well, so essentially then we theoretically, do we have any idea when that escrow, we'll get those escrows back?
Troy, I thought it would be back a year ago.
Okay.
So
Right.
I am working on it, and I will continue to work on that, and I will put it at the top of my priority list, but I never imagined it would drag on this long. So
That would save us a ton of interest and things like that, just to be able to. use
agreed.
that and pay it.
But this money that is in escrow is earning us a pretty legitimate interest rate as it sits there. So
Okay.
while we're losing out on some interest because we're taking money out on loan, at least that is also making us interest at the same
Okay.
time.
All right. So it's a pretty safe bet that we could have this paid off before the maturity of the loan.
Yes, as long as we want to, as long as your objective and as the board wants to take that
Right.
escrow amount and put that right towards the loan,
Okay.
potentially, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Theoretically, yeah.
Theoretically, I think it's important to understand, though, that there are, like I just wrote a note because one of the things Director Williams said we want to talk about in February is, last year, remember we had brought up free lunches. So, some of that depends on initiatives and, if we look at that more closely, that changes, maybe that 3 million goes more toward that. So it kind of depends a little bit on what else is going on, but I mean, hypothetically, yes.
Yeah, this just keeps the door open for you. So you can make decisions in the future.
Okay, any other questions?
Just
Yep.
one final clarification. So this is just purely just a loan because we are maxed out on our bond. Is that correct?
It's purely just a loan, but not because you're maxed out on your bond, just because the prepayment flexibility, you get that with a loan, not with a bond. With a bond, you'd be locked into the same rates for 5 years.
This was always intended
So-
to be part of the overall amount of money that we borrowed. As a matter of fact, we really got $3 million less because of using fund balance for it. But when we looked at it at the very beginning and you look at a series of bonds and how you're going to borrow and the timing of it, this was always a piece of it to take care of the last remaining costs.
Okay, anything else? Okay, if there are no more questions, Dr. Messinger, Ms. Martin, anything else?
No, that's everything. Thank you.
Okay. All right, is there a motion from the board to approve item 7.4?
Motion to approve 7.4.
Thank you, Director Murray. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Director Moyer, any discussion? Okay.
Do we need to be specific with the motion, or are we just approving the resolution? Does it need to include, who we're actually using and those types of things, or is that already built in? That's already built in? Okay.
Yep.
All right,
it's
thank
already
you.
in here. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving item 7.4, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No.
And, okay, yes. Madam Secretary, let's take a roll call vote, just so that we can be on the record.
Director Kreiser,
No.
Director Moyer,
Yes.
Director Fowler,
Yes.
Director Williams,
Yes.
Director Blau,
No.
Director Murray,
Yes.
Director Klein,
Yes.
Director England,
Yes.
Director Nam,
Yes.
7 yes, 2 no's.
Great, thank you. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we have.
7.5.
Oh, 7.5, thank you.
I'll do
7.5, thank you.
Yeah, I'll do 7.5 and I can do probably 8.1 together. 7.5 is just our banking information for 2026. And then 8.1 is just the approval. We typically have students and a supervisor on our summer work crew. So eight students and 1 supervisor, and their hourly wages are listed there.
Okay, great. Any questions regarding 7.5 or 8.1? Okay, is there a motion to approve items 7.5 and 8.1?
Motion to approve 7.5 and 8.1.
Thank you, Director Murray. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Kreiser. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, my vote is also yes, so that motion carries unanimously, and we'll move to Human Resources.
Okay. The first one, we do have some resignations, and it is that time of year where we have some retirements rolling in. As you know, they must give us those before February 1st if they're on the professional contract. We have 2 of those actually. Karen is classified, but she's been our payroll clerk for a while now, done a tremendous job, but she is retiring. And we have a 3rd grade teacher, Lisa Moscow, who's just been a wonderful teacher for us, who is also retiring. And I expect 1 or 2 more in February yet coming, but just wanted to draw special attention to those that are retiring. We have a redesignation of Anna Pillsbury from a classified substitute to a general education aide beginning January 14th. We have some salary advancements listed for you there with credits. We have a mentor, Monica Shuey, mentoring Tamara Showers, who is a new teacher starting in special education. We have our coaches list, which I'll let you vote, and then I'm going to make an introduction then. And then we also have our co-curricular advisors listed for you.
Okay, great. That's 9.1 through 9.6, and we will vote on all of them together unless we need to separate. So are there any questions for Dr. Messinger regarding any of those items, 9.1 through 9.6? Okay, hearing none then, is there a motion to approve items 9.1 through 9.6?
Motion. Oh, go ahead, Robin.
Okay, thank you, Director England. Director Murray, can I take yours as a second?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, with that, is there any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving items 9.1 through 9.6, please indicate with an aye or yes.
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 Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, my vote's also yes, so the motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, we were going to introduce Coach Monroe, but I think the baby got a little antsy, and I actually wanted to meet the baby. We didn't care about Coach Monroe. But we did hire Coach Nate Monroe stolen from Palmyra, who was the defensive coordinator there. Will be joining us as a football coach. So I'm glad that we
Great.
can move forward with that and start some off-season workouts.
Great.
All right.
Sorry we missed him.
10, we have our music department trips, district chorus, district orchestra, district band. We do have some students that have been very successful in some of these events. We intend to get them in here in April so that you can meet them and so we can talk about them a little bit more and introduce them to the board. We also have an affiliation agreement for Eastern University. That's for some students to be doing some observations with us. We have 10.3, we have a speech teacher on a maternity leave. And it takes 3 people, evidently, to replace that person so that we can provide speech services. Now, these are people that have already full schedules, but they have some openings that they're going to help us provide speech services while that teacher is on maternity leave. And that's the end of instructional approvals.
Okay, so we have items 10.1, 10.2, and 10.3. Are there any questions regarding any of those items? Okay, I'll receive a motion to approve items 10.1 through 10.3.
Motion to approve 10.1 through 10.3.
Thank you, Director Murray. Is there a second? Thank you, Director Klein. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of approving items 10.1 through 10.3, please indicate with an aye or yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, my vote's also a yes. The motion carries unanimously. We do not have anything for policy for this month, although we do have some for informational. And with that, that ends our items for board action this evening. We will move now to our reports. CTC, Director Klein, anything to report?
Gary, you said next week we're going to have quite a bit of discussion about.
Yes, the JOC will be talking next week about the renovation, more deliberation about what was presented the other night. And then from there, come February, we should have pretty solid information, I would think, for the board.
All right. Well, to give you guys a real brief update, last week, all the county schools met. It was each superintendent, along with their business manager, and a collection of either board presidents or JOC members. And we all got in the same room together. There was no deliberation. It was very just informational. And they put information in front of us about the formula that goes into the bond. I know there was a little bit of discussion about that last week. We learned a lot about what other counties, what other CTCs do. I think Director Benton mentioned out of the 80 plus CTCs, there's 80 different ways to do it. It's kind of tailored to each CTC, whether it's the the formula is comprised of average daily membership or what they call STEB. And STEB is pretty much what each district's worth. Like, take all the property values, am I right? Market
Market
values.
value is another word.
And they explained to us how that impacts our county. So that's just a little bit of a primer about what's coming next week, I guess, is like what the formula means, and a little bit of a primer about what's coming next week with how we're talking about the formula and what each district, it's going to cost each district.
Great, thank you. Yep. Appreciate it. All right, any questions for Director Klein? Look forward to that next week or next month. Okay, Legislative Liaison, Director Kreisner.
Two things to note from the State Senate Education Committee. They have actually passed two votes out that are going to pass out of committee. One is a basically school day cell phone ban that the committee is supporting it, so that may become a statewide eventually. And the other one was to fund a grant program that allows for dual enrollment credits to be covered.
Oh, covered by the state?
By the state, yes, through a
Wow.
grant program.
Okay. Wow, great. Thank you. Great report. Okay.
Can I just
Yep.
say that we're a little bit ahead of that? We have a cell phone policy and we're reimbursing dual enrollment credits. Good, yay for us.
Like to think they're watching us, right? We will move the PSBA report to next month so that Director Blau can preserve her throat. And I know that she's not feeling well, so hopefully she'll be feeling better next month. IU 13, Director Murray.
No report. this
Okay.
month.
Thank you. Change Order Committee.
No report.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Informational items, Dr. Messinger.
Yeah, a few things there for you to look over between now and February's meeting. We do have a policy. We did not have, because we did not have a committee meeting, I didn't put the policy on for vote so that you could review it before February. It's an update on academic standards. We do have a student who will be observing our speech classroom. We also have a special education observation listed there for you. There are also two programs that are listed. Lebanon Valley Health Services provides some programs, and so does SARC. These are common programs, some that we have done in the past, but I wanted to get their information in front of the board, and we will allow you the opportunity to review it, ask questions. If you have questions, Dr. Bastek Jones is your person to go to. And then these are programs that we would be implementing in very specific grade levels in the district that they have available. So you can take your time and look through those over the next month. And then we have a few dates to remember. We do have a Teacher in Service Day on Monday, and then the committee meeting is February 3rd.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate.
Aye.
All right, with consent, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.